Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to RGP Bliss. Today, I'm going to be talking about EZD6, a fast moving game of fantasy mayhem by DM Scotty, published by Runehammer Games. Everybody, grab your dice. Not those kind of dice. Oh, yeah, the D6, baby. So, you got your introduction, how to play. The game is, I would call it rules light, real simple rules. One of the reasons why I love it so much, the mechanics just click and you're off playing the game. You don't have to have a player's handbook to tell you how spells work or stop to look up the intricacies of rules. You just roll the d6, make a call, and keep it moving. It's really nice as a game master or rabble rouser when you're playing. So that is the core mechanic where you're going to scale it from 1 to 6. 1 is always a fail, 2 is easy, 3 is normal, 4 is hard, 5 very hard, 6 super hard. And this is, enemies being scaled, but it could be like the task at hand as well. So if player requests to do something that's normal or hard, you just tell them roll a 3, roll a 4. Or if it's a super hard thing, you scale it appropriately. The players can also spend an in-game currency called karma to increase the pip. So that's pretty fun as well. So this game does have advantage and disadvantage. They call it boons and banes. So when things are going favorable, you let them roll 2d6, keep the higher. If they're on fire, they're incurring a bane. They roll 2d6 and keep the lower. So yeah, 1s always fail, 6 always succeed. And you do get a hero dice, which is 1 reroll per session. So if things are going horrible, your character is about to be off. Time to use that hero dice. Yeah, it's crucial. So yeah, karma, it helps with a hero's way to shrug off bad luck. So we start the game where every player character gets 3 karma, and when they fail a roll, the RR rewards them a karma, and they use it to increase die rolls to try to crit and do cool stuff as well. Karma doesn't work on magic or miracles, but heroes get a move, a turn action, and a free action. So it's pretty normal. Move and hit, and you can like take a potion or draw your weapon for free. Stuff like that. Pretty simple. Everyone has 3 strikes, so 3 hearts for hit points. 1 hit equals 1 strike of damage. The crit rule states that when you roll a 6, it explodes, so you get to confirm the crit, and you keep rolling 6s for as long as you can. So let's say I went ahead and rolled the 6, so I get to try to confirm a crit. I roll a 4, I can spend 2 karma, that would crit. Then I can roll a 1, probably don't want to spend 5 even if I had it, but now I get 2 strikes. So it's a really fun little mini game that you get to play. And heroes get armor. They get an armor save. So if someone's wearing a shield and let's say they got hit, so I would roll as the defender. Oh, I rolled a 3. It bounces off my shield, sucker. And it just creates really fun moments in the game. So I guess I'll just explain combat a little bit more. So basically, for an average monster character, like a 3 or higher hits. So if I'm rolling to hit and I rolled a 5, that's going to hit you. So then you would roll your armor save. Whoo, not today, sucker. Not today. But yeah, it creates this really fun game. For when I was first teaching this game, and I was a little worried how the players would react to the combat. I was used to just D&D style combat, with armor class and stuff like that. And that was the part I was the most nervous about. And my players told me it was the most fun combats they've ever had. So I am happy about that. A little bit about magic. Magic is really cool in this game. It's kind of like freestyle. You could basically make up and flavor it any way you like. Then you choose how many dice you're going to roll for the power level. You can go 1, 2, or 3d6. And you're going to compare that against the target's resistance. So real quick, let's say I want to cast a fire spell on someone that's over here. They roll the defense die of 5. So now I have to beat this 5. And I get to choose. I'm going to go ahead and try with 2d6. I'm going to say PL equals 2. So I meet or beat it, so it would hit. Now, if it's a 1, it would automatically fail. Unless I take spell burn. Ooh, which is I take 1 strike to cancel out that 1 failure and can kind of push the damage through. This is really interesting. The money and wealth don't have to be a chore. Instead of tracking, oh, you got 30 gold and a ruby in the treasure chest, you can just use wealth levels. So you can be pauper, just like scraping by. Cash poor, you got your food and simple clothes. That's it though. Moderate, hey, you styling a little bit. Wealthy, you can afford horses and wagons. You doing big, you popping. Big things popping, you wealthy. It's a how to play, creating your pusher and shover. Or that's what they'll call the player characters. You got choose a hero path, then a species. Choose 3 inclinations, 2 aspects. If you're a conjurer, you choose what circle of sorcery and your starting equipment. So you got the warrior. Think of that as like a fighter, a soldier, a gladiator, someone in the trenches, you know, got experience. The warden. Oh, let me go ahead and make it official. Hold on. Warrior. Always on the front line, dealing pain to those who oppose you. Boom. The warden. Few can escape your overland tracking skills and deadeye shots. Whew. Watch out. The delver. You call dark holes and dank dungeons home. You like to dig. The brute. A terrifying force of iron muscle and primal rage. The rascal. Some may call you a criminal, but that depends on your perspective. The conjurer, a master of the powerful forces of magic. And the frayer, a holy roller, a pious servant, or a crackpot. You decide. All right, couple more here. The scout, stories are your trade and legends your inspiration. Look at that. Just freaking Frodo right there. Beastmaster, you have realized your gift with animals is rare and wondrous. Wow. I really like that one. And so, yeah, you just choose your hero path. It's really more for flavor, and you get a couple little mechanical things and so forth. Each one, I would say, very much drives home the flavor. So once you choose one of the classes, you can choose human, elf, dwarf, halfling, or goblin. Or obviously just talk to your game master. I'm sure they'll figure it out with you. Then you get to choose 3 inclinations for humans and 2 for anything else. So let's roll a human. So I get to choose 3 inclinations. Now, there's a long list of these, and they're all pretty awesome. Let's just go over a few. So first one, alchemist. You know potion making and have a boon in the identification of substances. Start with 2 free healing potions or roll random ones on the potion table. taking a potion is a free action, and a healing potion heals 2 strikes. So already, one of the reasons I love this game is because it just gives me enough to inspire me, and then I can just take it to where it needs to go. So Alchemist, I'm thinking here, you make a really fun random table of potions with your dungeon master, or maybe the RR, or maybe the RR presents a, couple D6 tables of random potions and goofy stuff, or you could just go anywhere with it. So just with one inclination, I'm kind of like character building right there. Sounds really fun. You could also go out and try to get rare type of ingredients and try to research the potions. You could really take this far. Now let's go over here and just kind of pick one. Fate Touched. You start with 2 hero die. So if you don't, like your luck so much, you can choose Fate Touched. That makes sure you get 2 rerolls per game. Keep it flowing, keep it going. Hedge Wizard. You have no sorcery yourself, but you can use scrolls to cast spells. So really cool kind of effect. It's kind of like a build your own tough. I like this one a lot. When you would take your last strike, roll, and on a 4 or better, you succeed and power through. You don't take the strike. Ooh, here's a good one. Treasure Sense. You have a nose for finding hidden treasure and will always sense it if nearby. That's really fun. Let's do just a few more. Dandy. Your demeanor encourages diplomatic and amiable solutions. Boon to all social. You're just like a charming lad. Lastly, you're going to create some aspects. This is just pure like role-playing stuff. So maybe they don't show their emotions, or they collect perfumes. It's just something random or weird that you can try to make it important in the game and really role-play it. It's fun stuff. Okay, your circles of sorcery. These are the type of magics you could command. So there's arcane bands, which give you like magical whips. Blast masters. Pew, pew. Plant magic. Elemental magic. Illusionist. Ooh, necromancer. A seer. Ooh, that's cool. Shadow weaver. Really cool. And shapeshifter, which is like a druid. So equipment and armor, kind of roll for some random stuff. And that's basically it. That's the game and how to build a character. Most of the rules. The rest of this section is for rabble rousing. A great GM guide here. Just I would say the cream of the crop right here. Good stuff on how to role play, advice. This is really cool. So I've basically only ran, for the most part, 5e, and I do like milestone level ups. But with EZD6, I have yet to level up my characters. They haven't even noticed because we're having fun and they're getting cool loot and stuff. So yeah, it says getting magic items could be a goal of a character. Story-based things like rewarding them with lands, titles, fortifications, small businesses. Give them a boon if they're learning things. A permanent hero die could be awarded at a major part of their career or when they finish a major quest. Cool mounts and transportations. And yeah, you could deliver them trinkets that get them an extra strike, or a magic shield that saves on, 2s or whatever. The monster section is really cool. You get 20 classic monsters and 20 EZD6 monsters, which are just tight. Look how easy these stats are. Gargoyle. Living in wait. Infinitely patient. It's got 4 attacks. Claw, claw, bite, horn. Can sit perfectly still like a statue, and they can fly. So they got 2 strikes and 3 to hit. So a player rolls to hit. As long as they get 3 or higher, it's going to hit. Then they got to do that twice or crit, and the gargoyle will be done. But that's all you need. A little bit of flavor, a little bit of stats, and you're off to the races. Ooh, let's do this one. Mirror Mage. Trained to befuddle fools with magical tricks. Glittering Blast, a dazzling magic attack. Those hits lose 1 strike and are blinded for a turn. It has magic lore boon, and it has a magical shield. This mage can only be hit with a melee or ranged on a 6. So that's really cool. You can even have, you know, as an RR, you can describe the shield and how, you know, maybe every time the shield gets hit, something is lighting up in his pocket or his wand, and the players have to get to the wand or the trinket or whatever is protecting him, and then they break the shield, and then they get to the mage, and then maybe they want to learn about the shield, and maybe they're able to enchant their shields. You know, you can just rip off that and keep going. That's one of the things I really like about this game, is that it inspires me, and then I can just take it to that next level. That thing looks bad. Run away. Okay, this one I thought was a pretty cool one. So the Grog Wars. So they're a huge primal nomad. They look like that. And to hit is on a 3, and they have 2 strikes. So 1 attack with husk or crude weapons, and their attacks hit 2 opponents in melee range. So they kind of do some large swiping. One of the funny things I liked about them is that they have a complex tribal structure. So the only hope of Parlay is to understand how their hierarchy works and who to impress. So I just think of like a big swarm of like 20 of them, and maybe there's like just, you know, all types of different ones, and the players are trying to like not start a fight, and they're trying to figure out like who they can't disrespect, and maybe they do like quirky stuff like jumping on one leg is like signifying like saying thank you, and if they don't do it, they start ticking off the wrong person. You could just do all kind of goofy and funny stuff with that. Their bestial rage often takes over when they fight. So after it takes its 2 strikes, it will lunge forward in a desperate attack to take out its killer. A crit on it will take it down without a chance of this reprisal attack. So, you know, the first times the characters aren't gonna know what's coming, so they might even let their guard down, and then they do this last charge. So just a really fun and interesting group. If you want to go even deeper, you know, it explains a lot more about their background, how they act, what they do. And just real quickly, because when I read this, it kind of just sparked some creativity in me. It talks about the spawning, which is like a big mating ritual where they'll come together, all the tribes, and they'll, you know, marry into each other's tribes and create offspring, and then their numbers double, and it's like a re-strengthening ritual and time for them. And you could even, you know, just going based off of this, you can put your characters right in the story where, you know, their guild or their mayor figured out where they were going to have the spawning, and the players have to go and stop the Grog Wars from, you know, meeting and mating, and they get involved maybe in the politics of the tribes. Maybe they go there to stop this from happening, but then they discover that these things are smart and have their hierarchy and emotions, and maybe they befriend them and join one of the groups, and maybe one of the groups of the Grog Wars are, planned on betraying, you know, and all the other tribes so that they could be the one. And I mean, you could literally take it any direction, and it's just from one, you know, creature type, something new, something fresh. You don't want to mess with the gray ones. The Misty Spawn. They have a whole lore to them too. Ooh, this one's pretty good. The Murdrath. So this one's cool because it says it right here. It's a great example of how a story is more deadly than the stats. This is a kidnapper creature, so it threatens to eliminate a hero in going around, their defenses, dragging them off never to be seen again. So with this one, you could, plant the lore and the rumors of things disappearing, and maybe, one of the NPCs doesn't, gets lost and you got to go rescue, or, whatever. It says here, if you're not freed in 10 minutes, you're pretty much lost for good. So high stakes stuff. Yeah, your ship is not gonna make it, buddy. That's for when you get mad at your players. No, just kidding. Holy smokes, look at these things. And see, 12 strikes, and it has other stuff going on. Just really cool powers. And you can even take something like, okay, the vicious mouths on the ends of the tentacles secrete sticky acidic bile that begins the digestion process. So you could even have this in the campaign we're making up with the Grog Wars, and maybe they're putting the acid on their weapons, and that's how they're able to gain an advantage on someone else. But then for the big war, your guys have to go harvest this stuff. There you go. The campaign's writing itself, guys. All right, so that's the monsters. I give it a 10 out of 10. Like I said, you can even mix and match stuff. Let's move on. My rule, let the loot flow, baby. You can always have things break or go missing or whatever. Scrolls and potions. I love how scrolls work. Basically, if you choose not to go the conjurer route, which is like the magical route, you can take that inclination, the hedge wizard I showed you, which lets you read scrolls. And the scout could do it too, the Bilbo Baggins of the hero path. So essentially, you open up the scroll to consume it. It can't fail, and an effect goes off. And what I love is that you get just enough, again, the secret sauce, just enough to inspire you, and you're off to the races. So you could randomly roll on these tables. Let's go ahead and read a few. Goyle's Mr. Bones. You can animate one found skeleton. It obeys simple commands and takes one strike. So if you ever need to talk to the dead or something like that, let's go over here. Oh yeah, by the way, they all have a name and then something that kind of explains what's going on. Quentin's Lucky Charm. The recipient has a boon for every check in the scene. So maybe they're about to roleplay an important thing. They, pop this scroll and you're off to the races. Okay. Abrax's Mirror Walk. You and up to a dozen beings teleport between two mirrored surfaces. Very cool. So there's all kinds of scrolls already. And again, you can make your own. Same with potions. You got 6 random potions. That's when a player finds a potion of healing, they can either take a potion of healing or roll for a random one on this table, or one that you make, right? Then jewelry. Ring of Grip. When equipped, you will never drop an object from your hand unless you want to. So just cool stuff like that. Cool melee weapons, cool ranged weapons. unusual stuff. This is cool. The golden tadpole. This creature floats in a vial of magical fluid and can be used to revive a hero who died in recent combat. That's incredible. This is a 3 strikes and you're out kind of game. The tadpole is released onto the face of the deceased and crawls up the nose to revive the dead with a jolt. The revived hero returns with 1 strike and will often have memories or dreams of other heroes who died in a nearby area. Oh, you could really go with that one. Maybe when they're jolted, they soul bond with someone from the past that died there, and then they're almost like they're haunted by this ghost now, and they have to go ahead and deal with whatever thread that ghost needs to accomplish before it could rest in peace and leave your player character alone. That sounds really fun. Ooh, magic armor, a lot of it. Let's read one. Okay, pocketed armor. A dozen small invisible pockets can hold items that cannot be found unless you allow it. Ooh, if you're sneaky. Okay. Helmet of Champions. A crescent helm. Subtract 1 from your armor roll target. Nice. And then a magic treasure generator. That's really cool. So toward the end of the book are some handy bits. Rabble rousers, RRs, always need a pile of tables in the back of the book. What am I doing? What monsters are here? Who is this silly fruit vendor? My cabbages! This chapter has a few things to get you rolling, but nothing will beat the handy bits you create to fit your game. So this is, again, examples of how to do it, but maybe things you would put inside of your GM screen if you use it. This is literally the whole game right here. All the main rules of it. The monsters again, monster power-ups. This is how you can make your monsters beefier. You can give them more strikes, make them harder to hit. You can also give them stronger attacks. Encounter twist. You need something random to happen. Roll on this table. Battle twist. Out of time. Time to complete the objectives becomes shorter than expected. Local enemies accelerate a catastrophic or irreversible event. Maybe they start a fire and the fire starts spreading. Things like that. That's a fun table. Some names. Oh, this is kind of where I got that inspiration. What's their purpose? To foil the heroes. To give them a difficult moral decision. To mentor them. Just really cool. What the commoners want, what the powerful do, lord over others. Cusco style. Where the lair is, what's inside of it. Monster buffs. More strikes. Give it wings. Let it fly. How to make cool minions. Kind of like unique things that swarm. Ooh, the probability generator. Hey, is there any loot in this room? Probably not. So roll 2d6. If you hit a 6, then you find the stuff. So the RR tells the person searching how many dice they roll. Likely is 4. And again, little chance would be low, like 1. And you have to hit a 6 to find it. And you can't use karma for this one. And then lastly, let's finish off with the character sheet. This is it, just 1 page. And I'll just leave you with this. One of the really cool things, right before a game, I was getting ready to play, run it. And one of my players, I said, okay, we ready? And she said, oh, I forgot my books. And then we all kind of laughed and was like, oh, you don't need your books. Here's your character sheet. Let's go. And we were laughing because we were just so used to having, like, Xanathar's Guide, your player's handbook, and this thing and having like books and looking stuff up and pausing the game. And once we switched over to trying this out, it's just hard to describe how well the game could flow. Um, how the rules just kind of go back 20 feet and you're just like in the game. And that's one of the really cool and unique things about it. The combat, um, that feeling of having, that tactile feeling of rolling the d6 and critting it. It's fun stuff. And I would encourage anyone thinking about trying something new, something rules light, to definitely give this a try. I'm glad I did. And I liked it so much, I started this YouTube channel. So thanks for watching. I'll be making more videos. Thanks, guys.